Hey YouTube, it's Mandak coming at you with another video. So I know it's been about, I guess, a week that I did my last video. So I know that was a Lego video. I know it's been a while since I've done a haul video. So I thought I'd do one today, just going over a few stuff that I got. Um, just a quick update. I will be at PhillyCon this weekend. So really excited to be going to that again. I'm going on Saturday, so yeah, and me and my friends are going to try to go see Dark Phoenix the day before. I've heard that movie is absolute shit, so it's one of those things where I'm just excited to see kind of the train wreck of the Fox movies come to an end at last. So that's my plan. So this year I'm probably not going to do one of those PhillyCon wish lists. At this point, my wish list has pretty much stayed the same. If anything, it's probably gotten smaller because um, I bought more books since 1 year ago. Um, but yeah, I'm really excited to go to that again. This will be my, let's see, my fourth PhillyCon in a row. I've gone in 2016, 2017, 18, and now 19. So, and it seems like every year I keep getting more shit, which is crazy to me because I would think that I would be getting less stuff because I'm buying more. But no. So, um, yeah, I think over on the Students of Shield page, I think I'm going. We're gonna try to do like a video, kind of doing relaying stuff from the whole weekend, just like you know a little documentary vlog type of thing. To kind of just preserve the memories of that time because we never do that. Like we never take pictures or anything like that. So it'll be cool to actually do something like that. So just be on the lookout for that. Obviously, if you're not following Students of Shield, follow them. We do weekly podcasts every week covering the new releases of stuff that come out. They also just started up an Invincible podcast going through Image's Invincible book. So really excited. I actually have the compendium, so I haven't started reading it yet, but I'm excited to kind of just tune in and see what they think about those issues. Let's see what else. Batman No Man's Land, Cataclysm, that type of stuff is starting up for them as well. They've started that podcast. So check them out. I'm gonna see if I can feature them on my channel too, so because they feature me on there. So, um, but yeah, so I have a few books to go through here. Some stuff from Books a Million and Second and Charles. Second and Charles having a sale today or this week. That's why I went. I know the con's coming up, but this sale was going on through the 16th, so it's going to be during the PhillyCon. I won't be able to go, so I figured I'd stop in, get some stuff while the sale's still going on. It was like buy two, get one free, which when everything was all considered, everything came out to about $5 a book, which I think is a pretty good deal. And I will say, I think for the first time in a while, the Marvel books are outnumbered by independent books, which is crazy. I really went into the independent stuff this time. I didn't really go through too much, but I was able to pick up a lot of pretty cool stuff. So I'm trying to adjust my camera. Maybe I should back up. Anyway, I'll get into the Marvel books first, and then we'll go from there. So first book I got here was All New Guardians of the Galaxy, Volume 2, Riders in the Sky. That's what the name of that is called. Get it? Because Riders, Richard Rider, Nova. Anyway, excuse me. So this collects all new Guardians of the Galaxies, Galaxy numbers 3, 5, 7, 9, and 11 through 12. So this is part of Jerry Duggan's run on Guardians, and there is an omnibus out. I'm not paying $40 for 300 some pages of book. I'm just not. These are cheaper. This was $6, and I had like half his run already. So I think I'm just gonna try to hunt down the trades at this point for this. I mean, it makes sense because besides Bendis's run on Guardians, everything else I have for Guardians is in trade paperback. So uniformity, I guess, whatever. But yeah, so really excited to read this. This is actually after, I think this is after Secret Wars. So this is post Secret Wars. The art looked pretty cool. You can see there's Star-Lord and Richard Rider, I'm assuming, or Sam Alexander. I don't know. So pretty cool. Got it for like $5. All right. Next trade I got here is Captain America, Steve Rogers, Captain America, Volume 2, The Trial of Maria Hill. So this was the one Steve Rogers, Captain America trade that I didn't have. I had Volumes 1 and 3. I showed those in a previous video. But this one I didn't have, so I picked it up, got it for like $5. You can see here the back cover. Looks like Baron Zemo is in this book, so really excited. This collects Captain America, Steve Rogers, 7 through 11. So kind of a small trade. Art in this one's pretty good. This is obviously the Cap, or the Hydra Cap era. So, and then this is getting really close to Secret Empire. So eventually I'm going to probably have to collect Secret Empire. And I think my friend told me that there was like a trade that has, it's called Captain America Secret Empire, that collects the last few issues of this series, and I think of Sam Wilson Captain America. So really excited. I think I have all the trades of Sam Wilson, I believe. I don't know if there's more out there. I'll have to check. But yeah, so pick that up. Next trade that I got here. So everything else was from Second and Charles, except for one book, which I'll explain later. So the next book I got here is a book that I'm trying to get because I'm working on a Bendis Avengers readathon. So obviously that is comprised of a bunch of different stories and books that came out alongside it. The first one being Avengers Disassembled, and then segueing directly from that into New Avengers, and then you have Mighty Avengers, and then you have just the Bendis Avengers stuff, and then you have all the events that are tied into all these stories, Dark Avengers. So I went on this website, kind of mapped out what I needed to get. My friend was telling me that there's some books that I don't need to get, so I won't, if I get to a certain point where I have like the essential stuff, I'll start the readathon. But still trying to collect a few gaps. For the most part, in the beginning of his run, I have a lot of that stuff. I have like all the New Avengers stuff, and most of the Secret Avengers stuff. But I still need to collect his, adjective-less Avengers stuff, and go from there. But I was able to get one chunk of that adjective-less Avengers stuff, and that is Avengers Fear Itself. So this collects Avengers 13 through 17 and New Avengers 14 through 16. So the New Avengers 14 through 16 stuff is the second volume of New Avengers, which I believe there is a gap in the New Avengers trades that is filled by this book. And that always made me wonder. I'm like, why is there like a 3-issue gap in those trades? But this kind of explains it. So I've read Fear Itself. I may end up reading it again because of the way that this is set up. It was a pretty decent event. I liked it. Had some pretty good moments in it as well. So this is a chunk of that readathon that I needed. Picked this up. Like I said, all said and done, got these each for like $5. So really cool. It's one of those books where there's so many Fear Itself tie-ins that if you're not looking for it, you're going to miss it because they all have the same spines. The Fear Itself books do, that is. Iron Man, the only Fear Itself tie-in books I've read are not this one yet, the Invincible Iron Man one, and then I've read the Spider-Man Fear Itself book, which was pretty good. I mean, it was kind of like a solo thing, just him running around New York trying to save people from dying. So, but yeah, other than that, and it has Romita Jr. art, which I'm excited. Yeah, because I think I've read the first 6 issues, I think, of Bendis's adjective-less Avengers stuff. And I sold it to a friend. I should have probably just kept on to it, knowing now that I would need it for this readathon, but guess I'll have to buy it again. Wow, this Iron Man that he draws here is like almost exactly reminiscent of the Iron Man he drew back in the 90s with Byrne. It's almost, yeah, it's really uncanny. Alright, so next book we have here is Dark Avengers Assemble, Volume 1. So this collects Dark Avengers 1 through 6, and again, just another part of the Bendis readathon that I need to get. And this has the beginnings of the Dark Avengers stuff during the Dark Reign era, which I believe directly follows after Secret Invasion, I believe. So here you see you got all the villains dressed up as heroes, with Norman Osborn being Iron Patriot. So cool beans. You see the back here. So, and this would tie in heavily with. I mean, the Dark Avengers being around would tie in heavily with the first few story arcs, or I think the second big story arc in Matt Fraction's Invincible Iron Man run, where Norman Osborn is pretty much just chasing after Tony across the globe, and that's pretty much what the Most Wanted storyline is about, and it comes to a head with Norman and Tony facing off. I won't spoil everything, but it's a really good event. Highly recommend checking it out. Next trade is Dark Avengers Molecule Man, so Volume 2. So this has Dark Avengers 9 through 12. So there is a 2-issue gap there, and that 2-issue gap is actually in a trade called Dark Avengers Uncanny X-Men Utopia, I believe it's called. I've looked it up online, and it's it's like $30 for a little tiny trade. So I'm not sure what I'll do with that. If I really want to read that stuff, maybe I'll just go online and read it. If not, I'll just skip it, because I mean, I can't imagine 3 issues of a Dark Avengers story really screwing me up or getting me lost in this whole thing. So, yeah. So if I find it, I'll find it. I don't know. I feel like it's one of those books where if I see it somewhere and someone's selling it, they're probably not going to know that it's like a really rare book, because it's just like a random, Avengers book that like probably no one's looking for, except for people like me who are nuts. But yeah. So this collects another chunk of the Dark Avengers stuff that I need to have. So 9 through 12, that's what, 4 issues. Seems like they're pretty long issues. I mean, this is a pretty thick trade, I would say, compared to what you'll see. But yeah, so picked up those 2 for pretty cheap. Next book I have here is not related to the goal for the Bendis stuff. Nothing after this is related to that either. So next book I got here was War Machine, Secret Invasion War Machine, a weapon of S.H.I.E.L.D. And the reason why I got this is because there are Iron Man Director of S.H.I.E.L.D. issues in here that I do not own, I believe, at least not in the complete collection, which I had to pick up. So this collects on my Iron Man Director of S.H.I.E.L.D. numbers 33 through 35, and it also has a reprint of Iron Man 144, which I've already read in Omnibus, and it is a retelling of the story in Vietnam with Tony, with this time inserting Rhodey into the story. Basically saying how Rhodey saved his life, and you get some really good pencil work and art by John Romita Jr. in this issue. So let's see if I can go back here. Yeah, so this is like this the retelling of the story there. You get to see Tony and Iron Man in a fedora hat and a jacket. So really cool. Kind of cool to have that issue in there, but pretty much the reason why I bought this was for 3 issues, and it was like, this is $4. After the buy one get one free thing, it was like really cheap. So yeah, so got that. Really cool. And then the rest of the books here, guys, are all non-Marvel books. So we'll kick it off here. So the first book I ended up getting is Volume 3 of Sex Criminals by Matt Fraction and Chip Zdarsky. So I have Volume 1. So now that means I have to get Volume 3 because I have Volumes 1 and 3. Or I had to get Volume 2 because I have Volumes 1 and 3. But yeah, this is just... I'm really, I really have dug a lot of Matt Fraction stuff. I've read his Hawkeye stuff. I read his Iron Man things, his Iron Man run, the whole Iron Man run. Really enjoyed his writing, and I'm just really excited to read something like this. And Chip Zdarsky's art in here is just amazing. I didn't want to show that one because that has not appropriate stuff to show on TV, on YouTube. You can see here. Really cool. This is by Image, so really excited to read this. This collects issues 11 through 15 of Sex Criminals. So, yeah. And again, I know I commented about this in the first trade I bought. These trades are really well put together. Just very good. Like, it feels really like a really well put together book in your hands. I'm not saying Marvels aren't, but it's just a different feel. It's like the cover is kind of like a matte finish, not like really a so like glossy finish. The next two books here are for the same series. I ended up getting Saga Volume 2. At this point, I'm just going to collect the trades. I know the hardcovers are cheap online right now, but I mean, I can definitely get the trades for cheaper. I'm pretty sure if I do the math right, and I have at this point, I can get them for cheaper. I mean, combined, the first three trades for Saga, I paid like maybe 15 or 16 bucks for them. And I'm not sure how the issues are split up in the hardcovers. I'm assuming that they're probably like either like three paperbacks to each hardcover. I'm not sure. But yeah, so Saga Volume 2. I have not read Saga Volume 1 yet. I really want to get to reading some of this stuff soon. Just don't know when. But again, the art looks fantastic. Brian K. Vaughan. Haven't really read a lot of stuff by him, but we'll see how it goes. So, this collects issues. Doesn't say. Let's see. Issues 7 through 12. So that makes sense. So there's that. Next book I have here is Volume 3 of Saga. So got this for like $5 or so, $5 or $6. And this collects issues 13 through 18. So again, just another 6-issue trade. Yeah, just really excited to read this. I've heard so much about it, and I want to see what all the hype's about. So looks pretty different in terms of what I've read it all before. So we'll see how it goes. Yeah, give it a chance. I'm not sure. I don't know if it's still going. I don't know if it's. I'm assuming it probably still is because it's like really popular. But yeah. So the next three books here are all by the same creative group actually, and that's why I bought them. Let me flip this one up here first as I switch legs because my legs are getting tired. The first book I got here is Criminal by Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips. This is the first trade, I guess, called Coward. So, story behind this. I read the 2019 series of Criminal that came out. Issue 1 came out. Oh no, I'm sorry, not issue 1. I think it's issue 6 of the 2019 series came out last week, and I read it for our weekly comic book show on the Students of S.H.I.E.L.D. website, and I absolutely loved it. I was like, I need to keep buying this series. This is like really cool. It's kind of like a crime mystery type of thing in comics, and I've always loved that because like comics is like such a great medium to tell crime stories because it's like you have so much, you can put so much emotion and like build up and suspense into comic panels, especially if it's like something going on and the next page you're like, oh shit, it's a giant splash page of like something you were not expecting. So I really enjoyed this, and I really enjoyed that single issue, so I want to go back and see what trades there are of this series, and they've been making them. I'm not sure when this series first came out. 2015, I'm assuming. Yeah, it first came out in 2015. So really excited to read this. The art is fantastic. Sean Phillips' art. I don't know if I've read anything from him with Marvel. I'm not sure, or DC, but I really like his art. So we'll see how this goes. Fingers crossed. Next book I have here is Fatale And this is book 1, Death Chases Me. And this is also by Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips. So, did not know a lot about this, but I bought it anyway. So just a summary here in the back. In modern times, Nicholas Lash stumbles upon a secret that will lead him down the darkest path imaginable, to a seductive and ageless woman who's been on the run since the 1930s. And in 1950s San Francisco, reporter Hank Raines crosses paths with that same woman and gets caught in a vicious triangle between a crooked cop and a man who is more monster than man. So, but who is Josephine and what is her secret, and how many men will die and kill for her? Fatale blends noir and horror to tell a riveting epic unlike anything you've ever seen. That sounds pretty cool. I'm excited to read this. So it's a little bit of mystery. Man, freaking computer. Just like every other video, goes to sleep. So we'll boot this back up and we'll get started again. And now it's loaded my photos. What the fuck? So yeah, so I'm just doing a little bit of sampling of everything. So we'll see how this goes. If I like it, I'll keep reading it. If I won't, I will put it back. But again, I think that I've heard this is really good. So, 'cause I think one of these books it talks about Fatale. Maybe I'm wrong. All right, whatever. Yeah, so really cool to have that. And the last book here, as we close out this video, is another book by Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips. This is by Icon. So just to go back real quick, these other two books I went over by Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips, those are both by Image. This is by Icon, which I don't think I own a single Icon comic yet. And this is Incognito. And this one has a really cool premise. Basically, the premise of this story from the back here says it's a supervillain that pretty much hangs up the supervillainy and goes into witness protection. And we pretty much go through this guy's life as he tries to move on from being a villain and just be an average person and, you know, resisting the temptation to be evil again and go back to crime. So, yeah, it's a twisted mashup of noir and superheroics. So everything's a mashup of noir and something else, I guess. But I would say, looking at this art on this one, I would say this is probably Sean Phillips' best art of the three that I've thumbed through. Now, I could be wrong. Once I read it, I might like one more than the other, but just really cool. Really good use of coloring as well. Not sure if that's up to Sean Phillips or if it's just like a colorist they get for the book, but very reminiscent of, you know, the times where it was 4 colors or 4. I don't know what the actual terminology to those are. But yeah, guys, so that's my haul. So I'm not sure what number haul this is, but yeah. So the next video I'll do will probably be for my PhillyCon haul. So that will either go up Sunday night or Monday night. Hopefully I can get it done Sunday. We'll have to see how many books I get. I really hope I don't have to like spend a shit ton of money. You know, I think last year I probably spent around 150. That's usually how much I spend on these cons. I don't think I've reached the $200 mark for any of these cons in terms of comics. But yeah, so be on the lookout for that, guys. If you haven't already, go back and check out my PhillyCon 2018 haul, which is in the videos. He's got a thumb through them. So, anyways, thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. See ya.